Gund Arena here in Cleveland, Ohio, the site of the 26th annual McDonald's Boys High School All-American game. And this one, of course, figures to be very special. LeBron James against the rest of the All-Americans here tonight. Hi, everybody. Dan Shulman and Jay Billis with you. You've seen him dominate so many times. Can he dominate against players this good?
Well, I think he can, because he's so skilled and he's so physically advanced at this stage of his development that he's got the ability to dominate in an all-star game, which is usually dominated by guards.
But this is not the LeBron James Invitational. 23 other All-Americans are here. Who stands out?
Well, a lot of them stand out, but I'd start with Ebe, who's headed to Arizona, a guy who's an outstanding athlete, can really run the floor and finish with authority at the basket. Leon Poe headed to Cal, 6'8", a monster rebounder, and perhaps the best point guard prospect here in this game is Chris Paul, who's headed to Wake Forest, and he will team with Justin Gray in what could be an outstanding backcourt. Teron Downey also.
So let's tell you first about the All-Stars from the West. Aaron Brooks and Shannon and Brown in the backcourt. Brown, an explosive leaper. Ebe, who Jay spoke about a little bit earlier, along with Leon Poe, and Kendrick Perkins up front, 6'10" and 285 pounds. For the East, of course, LeBron James from just down the road in Akron. He is the front and center attraction in tonight's game. But Chris Paul, Michael Jones, who's going to Maryland. Paul's going to Wake Forest. They'll make up the backcourt. Charlie Villanueva is up front, along with James Lang, who is 305 pounds. So we got almost 600 pounds of 18-year-old centers in tonight's game.
And you know that Gary Williams likes to see his players start off on the defensive end.
Chris Paul to LeBron James. That didn't take very long. And the crowd oohing and eyeing already.
And James with that explosive leaping ability. And one thing he can really do is run the floor and finish.
Something that Jones unable to do on that lob by Paul. And we've got a foul call, and we don't expect many of those here tonight.
Yeah, field goal percentage early for the LeBron James led team, 66%. 2 dunks, 3 attempts.
But that's one thing these kids are going to learn with help side defense is Ebe did not need to be guarding him that closely when the ball's on the opposite side of the floor.
The putback is good for the West team by Leon Poe. Pull up for 3, a little bit strong for Shannon Brown. And the rebound to Lang, and once the big fella gets it, it is over.
And Shannon Brown's going to be an outstanding player. Great explosive ability.
Villanueva almost lost the handle, but composed enough to finish off the glass.
Villanueva was a subject of a heated recruiting battle. He wound up committing to Illinois, although he has not yet signed. And he is one of those that Tim talked about that could make the jump from high school straight to the NBA. That is still in the forefront of his mind.
Yeah, one of his good buddies, Lamar Odom of the Clippers, same neighborhood.
James to Villanueva, and if you have not seen LeBron James, he's almost as spectacular a passer, Jay, as he is a dunker.
That's what sets him apart. He's an extraordinary passer that sees the floor, and he's got a flair for it. He makes the right play. He doesn't pass to be flashy, and there you see Shannon Brown with the strength that he's got. And he's really going to take Tom Izzo, along with Brandon Cotton, Tom Izzo back to really pressure defense and scoring off of their defense, generating offense. Look at that pass, the no look to Villanueva, high above the crowd. The transition defense, we won't talk about.
Now James with a little bit of extra flair in his game. He'll add the no look. We've seen it with the between the legs pass on the fast break, the behind the back bounce pass to a teammate for a dunk in a league game. He likes to put a little extra mustard on it. And the Ebe guarding him. We'll try to give you as much info as we can all night too about where some of these guys are heading. There's Villanueva again from James, who picks up another assist, and he sees a little bit of a part of the crowd up on the second deck, maybe folks from Akron, all wearing looks like St. Vincent St. Mary t-shirts, and he points up to them on his way back down the floor, and now he's got a steal. Unselfishly gives it up, and Michael Jones will finish with a jam.
That's 3 assists now for James, and I thought before the game he would get 10. He might get 10 by halftime.
Welcome back to the Gund, East by 12, and I'm here with LeBron James. And a dynamic start. You look like you're having a lot of fun out there, but I thought you'd try to dunk everything. You're trying to get your teammates involved. Take me through your mindset.
Well, you know, when your teammates get into it, we have a lot more fun out there because they feel like if the best player on the floor can get us the ball, you know, we all can have some fun and try to not be selfish. We're just trying to play a team game, and, you know, thankfully we're up by 12 right now.
Now, a big week for you. You win the state title. You've got a test on Monday. You come here Tuesday and win the Wooden Award. What does the McDonald's All-American game mean to you, especially because it's in your city?
You know, it means a lot to me. You know, besides, you know, doing all the hard stuff, you know, practice and stuff, you know, it's a great achievement for me and for the Akron, the city of Akron. And I feel like, you know, anytime you can give back to children like we did at the Ronald McDonald House and at the Children's Hospital, I think it was great for all of us, and it's a great experience.
LeBron, who's impressed you this week with their play? Do you have a couple favorite players?
You know, I think everybody. You know, everybody was here invited because of reason, you know, because of player, they on the court and off the court. I think everybody has impressed me this year.
A lot of people try to compare you and put labels on who you are. I see Magic Johnson a lot in your game and the way you approach things. Can you talk to me about how you've become so unselfish on the court and why passing is so important?
You know, I think it's just a goddamn time to just be unselfish, and you know, the best things come to the ones who wait and sit there and relax. You know, I think getting your teammates to feel comfortable with you is the best thing for me, and I tried that in the early going. It's working.
LeBron, there's the rim right there. I want you to go get it real soon, okay?
All right, thank you.
All right, back to you guys.
All right, Tim, thanks very much. And you know, at some point tonight, he's going to have everybody in this building on their feet with a spectacular play as Aaron Brooks knocks down a three. Leon Poe last trip down with a dunk as the West gets back within 7 of it. Now, LeBron James, Jay, looks like he has come out very relaxed, but also focused on setting himself apart from these other great players. I think as much as he knows all these guys and he's impressed by them, he wants to stand out a little bit here tonight as well.
Well, there's no question he's got a competitive spirit. He knows he's the best player and wants to be the best player. I think the key question is he will be the first pick in the NBA draft. I don't think there's any reasonable question about that. Will he have the drive to be one of the best once he gets the big shoe contract and signs with his team and starts making all that money? Will he continue to have the drive to improve to become the next Kobe Bryant or Kevin Garnett? I think that is still an open question.
Well, give us the things he needs to improve the most.
Well, first, I think he needs to refine his jump shot. He's a guy that shoots the ball with ease because of his strength and his ability to get up in the air, his leg strength. But I think he does need to refine it to where he's got the ability to hit it with regularity. And I think he can get that. He shoots a really good ball, and he shoots it from range with ease.
Range on the pass there. Shannon Brown, the finish on the feed from Aaron Brooks. Brooks a little bit strong on the three. Lavender's got a man and he sees him. And it is Shakur. Yes!
Wow. You know, the guys that need a blow here are the referees. This has been nonstop for them.
Well, they'll be able to conserve a little bit of breath because they won't have to put it into that whistle. There's not enough defense out here to blow one.
Long on the jumper from the baseline is NDEB. Baseline, or baseball pass rather, as Shakur's out behind the defense again. And the East making it look easy in transition right now.
Really good opportunity for Mustafa next year. Jason Gardner leaving the Wildcats at Arizona. Also Chris Rogers there. He's going to have a chance to step in and start for a very good team.
And I think he's got a good chance to do that. He was the best player, the best guard that I saw at the ABCD camp this last summer. And he's very skilled and he's got the ability to see the floor. So as a passer, I think he will fit in very well at Arizona.
A little bit too fancy there, and he turns it over to Eby, who's going to show the scouts his ball handling skills at 6'9" as he takes it all the way.
Down, they do what's natural. They do what's natural. That's the key. Wow. Von Wafer. You know, they can do this stuff at the NBA level. It's the off-the-court stuff that is so difficult. Dealing with money, which doesn't sound that hard, but it really is. All the pressure along the baseline. And a good idea next time, just don't even go for it. You're risking your fingers.
Von Wafer was the runner-up to LeBron James in the dunk competition a couple of days ago. On the left, former McDonald's All-American DeJuan Wagner. Jay Billis tells us that's rapper Jay-Z also. Your son's a big Jay-Z fan, you were telling me before the game.
Jay-Z's fat. I mean PH fat.
Well, DeJuan Wagner, one of the many talented players to have played in this game over the years, and LeBron James is adding his legacy here tonight, and it has been, as Tim McCormick expected, a dunk fest tonight. Von Wafer, the latest to get into the act. Kind of a one-sided score favoring the East. The Slam Fest on Monday here in Cleveland, and LeBron James, of course, guys, the prohibitive favorite.
If prohibitive means you put your head by the rim, that's him.
He defeated Von Wafer.
I am LeBron James.
or even King James. Whatever you call the McDonald Boys Player of the Year, call him a winner.
I think more than anything, what he brings is just a desire to win and a competitiveness that I love.
The man who has been LeBron's mentor for the past 4 years remembers the first time he saw a very young number 23.
He was this 9-year-old who was about 4 inches taller than everyone, who played point guard on a team. He couldn't dribble very well, but they made him point guard, and he used to back people down the court.
Once he got to St. Vincent St. Mary High School, LeBron evolved into not just an all-star player, but a team leader as well.
I came into a team that already had a leader. As the years grew on, you know, I have been seeing that Coach Drew has let me say more and more. And now the team looks at me and they say, you are our leader.
And that leadership continues off the court as well, where LeBron carries a 3.5 grade point average.
I think the way he goes at everything, from the way, you know, he competes it with his schoolwork, to how he plays on the basketball court, to how he plays a video game against his friends, it's tenacious. He's just always wants to be the best and wants to win.
LeBron's creative talents are not confined solely to the hardwood.
He's an artist. He can draw. He loves to draw, and he's, you know, honestly done a great job designing some of our uniforms, putting things together.
Now his designs are on the McDonald's All-American game.
You know, that McDonald's game it puts another burning desire in my heart. You know, have seen all the great players who've been through this, and you know, from Darius Miles to, you know, DeJuan Wagner, that's the Cleveland Cavaliers now, and Michael Jordan and other great players have been through this. You know, it's a great honor to follow in their footsteps.
Artist, student, player of the year all agree that the oversized 9-year-old is on the verge of big things.
I think he's just going to leave a legacy that's much greater than basketball because of his heart.
We mentioned David Paget. He has a strained knee. Why he's not in this game. So Paget, Luol Deng, and Olu Famatimi are the 3 injured players, unfortunately unable to play.
Now that is an outlet pass. LeBron James with the flip outlet.
Let's go back to Tim McCormick standing by with another one of the All-Americans. Tim?
Yeah, I'm here with Steven Spielberg. Oh, wait, no, it's Chris Paul. And you carried your video camera around all week. That must have been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was fun. I took the camera like when we went to lunch, we went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, stuff like that. Sort of like the behind-the-scenes stuff everybody don't get to see.
Chris, you had a tragedy in your family this year. Your grandfather was brutally murdered the day after you committed to Wake Forest. Can you share with us what happened the next game and your tribute?
I went out and scored 61 points. That's how my granddad was when he passed away. So everything I do now is pretty much a tribute to him.
Scored 61 points, tossed the ball to the referee, and walked off the court. Only 5 points away from the state record. It was a great tribute. What's it like playing with LeBron and some of these other guys?
I mean, it's exciting because this is the elite of the elite. So it's really an honor to be put on a pedestal, you know, with the Michael Jordans and all those type people.
And guys, back to you. And Skip Prosser, his coach next year, said that this guy is the truest of point guards. Back to you.
Lavender having a very strong game with 2 more. He's into double figures for the East.
So active.
Do you think that Tom Izzo will put a little pass-first mentality into his young point guard next year?
He will have to, because Cotton thinks shot first, or at least that's been the criticism of him.
Oh, Lavender to Outlaw. What a play. And LeBron James appreciates a good pass.
This is a crowd that's having a lot of fun here. They are very, very into it.
Well, Kelvin Sampson has been wearing throughout the NCAA tournament a crimson and cream tie, but his favorite color next year will be lavender. Wow. That's extraordinary, to be able to thread that needle now. Luckily for Lavender, nobody had their hands up.
Vince with that push jumper from the corner doesn't get it. But Leon Poe out of Oakland, headed to Cal next year, is there for the rebound and the stick back.
It can't be an easy job for these coaches. They want to try to make everybody happy, but they also want to win the game. This is their chance. And what a delivery. Mid-air creation by James. But I remember a couple years ago, Cedric Bozeman was playing for the West, and he was very frustrated, he and Josh Childress, because they hardly played the second half.
James and Eby have had a nice battle. You see the steal coming from behind.
And Eby's working hard, but James a little bit too strong, and it's his time right now.
What was that?
Now they're booing a little bit. They wanted something more from King James.
That's what you get when expectations are too high. A two-handed jam and nobody's happy.
I mean, Jay, you could have done that one.
Maybe he wanted Chris Paul to do it.
James now with 17. Cotton trying to get by Lavender and coming over for the block. And he's to the other side. Villanueva slams it home on the feed from Paul.
Paul just has an extraordinary ability to deliver the ball, and what a finish in running the lane. Charlie Villanueva has been criticized over his career for not always bringing intensity, but when he ran the lane, he took that ball to score and knew that he was going to see some contact, still finish the play, the foul on Eby.
Hey, as long as we're in Cleveland, that's a little reminiscent of Larry Nance, maybe.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's true. Jackie Butler, by the way, was the guy who came up with the block shot at the other end that got the East started on that break.
This is the major introduction to America of what the future of college basketball is. Jones is the guy that's really impressed me.
How about that, Tim? That impress you, though?
I knew about that before, though.
21 for James, and it was James, by the way, who knocked the ball away. Now James with a block. He's going to take over this game.
Let him go.
Listen to the crowd now.
Buy a ticket next week is what he's thinking.
23 for James. He has stepped up his intensity a notch or three in the last couple of minutes. He's going to get it back.
Well, that's the beauty of playing with a player like Chris Paul. You can give it up knowing that you're going to get it back.
Anybody want to finalize their MVP vote now? He just put this one away.
I want to send in my application to the LeBron James fan club.
Shannon Brown challenging Jackie Butler.
Jay, we've heard the comparisons to Tracy McGrady and Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan in high school, but the big difference is that LeBron James already is man size. I don't think he can get any bigger and any stronger. Do you think that maybe impedes some of his development? He's man-sized playing against kids right now.
Yeah, that may be. I do think, though, the real question is what kind of drive does he have? Will he continue to push to be the best player when he gets to the next level? And I think when you have so much hype and so many accolades coming your way, sometimes it's easy to get satisfied. I don't sense that will happen with LeBron James. I think he does really want to be great. But really, the great ones stand the test of time. It's not about potential or what you do your first few years. It's what you do over the course of a long career. And whether he's got that kind of drive remains to be seen.
Well, don't you look at Michael Jordan, how he evolved. He first learned. You spoke to him. Michael Jordan. Oh, no! Through the tunnel.
That takes between the legs to a new level.
Wow.
And John Wooden always said, never take it between the legs.
And James is, no surprise, the John Wooden Award winner and the MVP of tonight's game. 27 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, leading the East to victory in front of a very pro-LeBron crowd being so close to Akron.
He continues to live up to his billing every time he steps onto the floor. And all throughout the season, while teams were taking their best shot at him, he consistently answered the bell.
Chris Paul with a 3. Nice night for him, mostly dishing with 9 assists here tonight.
His unselfishness, his leadership, clearly the best point guard out here.
Giddens off to Wafer for an easy 2, and the East might get one more basket in as Shakur. They're going to count it? Yeah, what the heck, they said. There will be no video review on that basket as Shakur finishes off the scoring, and the East defeats the West here tonight, led by the MVP of this game and the best high school player in the country this year, and in all likelihood, of course, the #1 pick in the upcoming NBA draft, LeBron James, with 27 points, 6 rebounds, and 7 assists here tonight in the McDonald's All-American game. A pretty impressive performance, and again, some flair, some smiling. I mean, he came out here focused to play well, Jay, but also realizing this is a show, and as you said off the top, tonight. He's a showman and he wants to perform.
Very much so. And I think one of the things that was most impressive, not necessarily the way he played, because I think we expected that, and we've come to expect that from LeBron James, but I think the way his teammates and opposing players reacted to him. Guys clearly like playing with him. There wasn't a hint of jealousy out there, and I think that you can see from the way that he plays, he really fosters that kind of team atmosphere.
And if you had never heard of any of these players and you came in here to watch the game, would you walk out saying he was clearly the best player on the floor tonight?
Oh, without question. I think he is, without being disrespectful to the other players, he's a man among boys. And you're seeing a lot of players out here that are going to not only be outstanding college players, but have the opportunity to play in the NBA. And James is a guy who stands out among them.
Tim McCormick standing by with the MVP, LeBron James.
LeBron, you absolutely exceeded all of the out-of-this-world expectations. 27 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, huge numbers. What does it mean to cap a dream-filled event like this as the MVP?
You know, first of all, I'd like to give a shout-out to my father, you know, and secondly, you know, for God. You know, without God, this God-given talent would not have been possible tonight. And, you know, it's just been a wonderful couple of days for us, you know, visiting around McDonald's houses and visiting the whole hospital. It's just a great way to finish it.
LeBron, watching you come out, I would have expected you to come out and have a plan to be MVP, but you really shared the ball and showed unselfishness.
You know, I shared the ball early, which got my teammates comfortable in the game and got them into the flow early. And then, you know, the West team started to come back, and, you know, my teammates told me to take over a little bit more scoring ball-wise. And, you know, I did that in the second half, and we came away with a victory.
LeBron, #1 pick in the draft without question. You've won a state championship. You've capped this up. When can we expect an announcement about when you will announce your intentions for next year?
Well, you know, right now I'm just going to spend this last night with the fellow teammates and females from the McDonald's game, and there's really no telling when I'm going to make my decision.
Can you give me one lasting impression of your experience with the McDonald's All-American game?
You know, it was a great experience. It's a never to forget, and we did so many things. It's hard to say how many we did, but you know, been a never forget experience for us as male and females at a McDonald's game.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.